Welcome, everybody. We're going to get started today. We are absolutely delighted that you have joined us today. My name is Renee DeVore, and I am a field marketer with Premier Marketing, getting ready to celebrate my 7th year anniversary with the company and a total of 10 years in the Medicare industry. With me today are other Premier team members. Justin and Meredith will be here with us today to help answer your questions. But first, just some housekeeping items. Due to the very large number of attendees today, you will be in listen-only mode with the opportunity to have your questions answered in the chat box. So on your panel, you'll see an area where it says questions. Drop down on questions, submit your question, type out your question, and then please identify who you want the question to be addressed to. If you don't have an opportunity to answer your question today, we do apologize for that, again, due to the large number of attendees. If you have any other questions after this presentation, please contact your Premier Marketer at 800-365-8208. And if you don't happen to know who your Premier Marketer is, that's okay. We can help you out with that. Okay, so let's get started here. Sorry, my screen is moving a little slow here. Okay, so what is today's agenda? We're going to do an introduction to the Inflation Reduction Act. I'll be referring to it as IRA. And what does that mean for members, meaning Medicare beneficiaries? And what it's going to mean to you too. So we're going to talk about that because that's real important. What's the impact of Part D benefit changes that are anticipated? And then also in the MAPD and Part D benefit areas as well. So we want to help tee you up so you know what to expect in 2025 and beyond and be prepared for that. So we'll have some suggested next steps for you, and we'll be glad to help you out along the way here. Just a minute about Premier Marketing. We are a national marketing organization founded in 1968. We're based in Norfolk, Nebraska. Sometimes you'll hear FMO, that's used interchangeably with NMO, meaning Field Marketing Organization. We're part of the Integrity family that is based in Dallas, Texas, and we have over 40 business partners across the entire country. We are an insurance services wholesaler, and we work with people like yourselves who are independent insurance agents. That's what we do. We have a full portfolio of contracts that we can help you with. Today, we're going to focus on Medicare and the ancillary benefits associated with Medicare. But for those of you who need cross-sell opportunities for your clients, please let your marketer know. We can get you in touch with the specialist in any given area, and we can get you contracted accordingly. We're really large. We support over 60,000 agents nationwide and have excellent relationships with over 150 leading insurance companies. So what that means to you is that you have quality relationships at Premier that you can leverage to help your clients. So just what is this Inflation Reduction Act? I'm sure a lot of us have heard about it on the news, and typically it's positioned as roads and bridges, but it's really a lot more than that. Since this legislation was signed into law on August 6th of 2022 by President Biden, there have been a number of areas such as renewable energy, addressing air pollution, access to clean water, and what we're going to focus on today is social injustices, to vulnerable populations, and that is including Medicare beneficiaries. So really the goal as it relates to Medicare was to lower the drug cost, expand benefits, and also stabilize the production or the prescription drug premiums. So let's just digress a little bit and talk about what does all this mean to you. There's going to be a record amount of shoppers and switchers during the 2025 AEP. Depending on what you read, anywhere from 50 to 80% of Medicare beneficiaries will be out there shopping versus last year was 11%. So my neighbor next door already stopped me in the driveway. Renee, what's going on with this Medicare? Because he knows that I'm in the industry, and you'll be having a lot of your clients wondering what's going on too, based on what they're hearing and what they're reading. So we want to put you in a very proactive position to prepare for that and not only grow your business, but it's also a game of protecting your business at the same time. And on top of that, I'm sure you've seen the commission schedules for 2025. There's an opportunity to make more money next year. So let's break it down in terms of how the IRA reduces member costs. So if we look at how are these redesigns going to happen in 2025 and beyond, let's first look at the Part D benefits redesign section. This is where there's going to be a lot of movement. What you've known in the past, and when you start doing your certifications, I know AHIP is rolling out at the end of this month. Some of the carriers are starting to load their certifications. There will be cost sharing changes, shifts to the cost plans and the manufacturers involved. And we've already seen the insulin copay caps of $35 and also a benefit to your clients. The IRA extends LIS eligibility, often referred to as extra help. So that's an opportunity for you to help more people afford their drugs. Price negotiations, you've probably heard a lot about this. So CMS can begin to negotiate drug pricing for mature single source high cost drugs. So if you go out there and Google drugs that will be negotiated for 2025. There's 10 identified drugs at this point in time. And just to give you a couple examples, Eliquis, I'm sure you have clients that are on Eliquis, that's very expensive. And also Enbrel is crazy expensive too. So just so you can help your clients when you're reviewing their medication list, just to help them, give them peace of mind that some of those higher medications are going to be renegotiated. So I already touched on the drug price inflation cap. But again, that's something that we're seeing in terms of things like $35 insulin. And then there are rebate programs, which we'll talk about a little bit later as it relates to Part B. So let's talk about the impact of Part D benefit changes. So this is what's going on in the industry. This is what the insurance carriers are reviewing. This is what your clients are hearing about through the grapevines, on the news, whatever. The drug manufacturing liability is going to increase. And so what that's going to do is benefits to your clients is the Medicare cost will decrease, the member cost will decrease. So they're therefore creating a gap in what is being reimbursed to the insurance carriers. Coupled with things like maximum out of pocket cost, I refer to that as MOOP, and that's going to be decreasing, and there's going to be a new $2,000 maximum out of pocket starting in 2025, which is pretty exciting for clients that are spending a lot of medications or a lot of money on their medications. So the members, you'll see they'll be paying 100% of all expenses up to the Part D deductible. And then members pay 25% of the cost after the deductible until the MOOP is achieved. And so what it's going to do is after that MOOP is achieved, the members are going to pay $0. So this is something for those of us that have been in the industry for a while. We've been hearing the donut hole is going to go away and the donut hole is going away. It's finally gone away. Yay. So instead of the 4 phases of Part D that you traditionally have presented to your clients, now it's 3 phases. So that's really good news for your clients. Here's how the $2,000 maximum out of pocket can work for your clients, and it's something called a smoothing provision. And just to draw an analogy, I remember years ago I had to buy an air conditioner, and those are expensive. And when I went to the big box retailer, they're like, well, Renee, you can do a 0% finance over 24 months. And I was so relieved because I didn't have to come up with that money all at once. Same concept applies with your starting in 2025, because we all know Part D drug plans run from January 1st through December 31st. And there's going to be a smoothing provision, which means that if somebody reaches that MOP of $2,000, instead of going through sticker shock at the drug counter in January and they have to maybe come up, for example, with $1,000 right away, that total $2,000 can be stretched over those 12 months. So it will help your clients eliminate bad debt, and also will help them afford their prescription drugs, and they won't have treatment disruptions. I'm sure you've all heard stories about how seniors are out here taking their prescriptions, cutting them in half. Instead of a 30-day prescription, they're stretching it out to 60. That is not acceptable. What is acceptable is giving these beneficiaries a program where they don't have to do that, and they can stretch out the cost of their drugs over the 12-month period. The other thing that's going to be emphasized in the IRA is risk scores, areas that have not been typically focused on, such as direct subsidy rises. So more expansion of LIS, low income subsidy, also known as extra help. And that is something, as is applied for through Social Security, and you can help your clients direct them to the website where they can submit that application. So what to expect? So the Part D revenue overall will increase due to the mass number of plan changes that is anticipated going into 2025, but the revenue will not be sufficient to cover the increased plan liability. So there's going to be some changes, moving and shuffling of the parts of these prescription drug plans and also the MAPD plans. And so you're going to, because of lower revenue from CMS, changes in star ratings, changes in the risk adjustment methodologies, et cetera, 2025 will create industry-wide headwinds, and the insurance carriers are under pressure already to do this, and they need to figure out how to best deliver the medications to the beneficiaries while staying compliant. So what are some of the things that you're going to see changing? Using strategic initiatives to mitigate impact. That's a fancy way of saying that the structure of Part D will be changed. Because the insurance carriers are under a lot of pressure, given, as I mentioned earlier, lower reimbursement from CMS, lower cost on those 10 drugs to get started on the high cost drugs. There will be some offset increases from Part D and in the Medicare Advantage plans, or in the standalone Part D cost sharing or deductibles. Those will be changing too. So how does that work? So MAPDs, when they get their dollars for their plans, some of those dollars are allocated for, of course, medications. Some are allocated for transportation services. Some are allocated for dental, vision, hearing plans, right? So there's a lot of moving parts, as you all know, in those MA plans. And some of those, what are called supplemental benefits that I just mentioned, those dollars will be moved into the Part D portion so that people can afford their medications. The standalone Part D drugs or plans, they don't have as many moving parts. So there'll be more of cost sharing from the beneficiaries, maybe higher deductibles. So some of the plans that had maybe $0 deductibles on tier 1 and tier 2 drugs, they might have deductibles. Your clients that are used to paying $0, say for example, statin drugs and high blood pressure medications, may be seeing a cost sharing, and they may not be able to get those at $0 anymore. So there's going to be a big big change in the formularies. So it's so important that you reach out to your clients, come up now with a plan, be proactive, prepare for this so that you can find out what medications they're still on or not, what has changed. And we have a really nice tool, actually two tools to help you with that. One is Medicare Center. If you have not enrolled in that, please do that today. It is a fantastic quoting and enrollment tool as far as the drugs are concerned. It is integrated in with Medicare.gov, so it makes it real simple for you to put in the prescriptions and then find out how much it's going to cost for your clients. Another way to save you time, especially for those of you that have really large books of business, we have something called planenroll.com. And what you can do is there's a link you can provide your clients and they can enter their own medications. And then you'll have a URL link in there. And what that means is that your clients can enroll right from there. You get credit for it. PlanEnroll is integrated into Medicare Center, so it all works together. Then as far as increase in premiums, the goal is in Part D is to keep the premiums as flat as possible. The MA plans will be required to move more value to Part D versus the supplemental benefits. So again, those instead of maybe 12 transportation rides, maybe I'm making this up as I go along because we haven't done our search yet, we haven't seen the plans yet, but just as an example, maybe instead of 12 transportation rides, maybe the beneficiary would get 6 transportation rides. Those dollars from the 6 that were deleted and reduced could be moved to the Part D. So that's the moving parts that will be worked on by the insurance carriers with their actuaries and all of that. Okay, so when you look at MAPD and PDP considerations, you'll see some similar cost increases, whether the drug plan's embedded in the MA plan or whether there's a standalone plan. So you'll see a lot of changes. The revenue increase in the PDPs will be smaller. Again, they don't have as many moving parts to negotiate as the MA plans do. So the MA plans will have a broader set of benefits to adjust if needed to maintain CMS compliance. So they have to do all this and stay compliant all at the same time. Let's talk about the 2025 plan impacts on MAPD plans. So there's a lot of, and I know you're from all over the country, so all across the country, there's HMO plans with $0 premiums. And the carriers are going to do everything to maintain that, but you'll probably see some benefit changes and formulary changes, and just anticipate that. Again, we haven't seen the plans yet, but this is just something kind of heads up on what is anticipated. The PDP plans, as I mentioned earlier, don't have as many negotiable parts within their plans, so they're more likely going to raise premiums. I know there are 0 premium plans in 2024. Those will probably going away. And you'll start seeing more premiums or maybe higher premiums on the PDP plans. And again, with a lot of fluctuation in the formulary list. So the MAPD value proposition may become more favorable to some, not to all members. So let's just talk about that for a second. So if you have clients on supplements, typically when they get around age 72, 73, especially if there's more than one person in the household, that total overall cost becomes quite pricey on the supplements. And that may be a prime time for somebody in a supplement to go into an MA plan. They can use that 12-month trial right to transition out of the MA plan back to their supplement if they need to. Okay, so that's another opportunity. So I would really suggest in your marketing plan to start looking at those clients that are in 72, 73, 74. The other thing, you're going to have clients that will want to shop their supplements. And if they've already used their guarantee issue, we all know you can shop supplements 365 days a year, but they're going to have to go through underwriting. So if you don't have supplement contracts, I would suggest that you get some, because there's going to be a lot of movement potentially back and forth between MA plans and supplement plans, and I want a different supplement plan, and all kinds of combinations. So just a thought for you there to consider. Okay, this is real important. So typically, and with all due respect to the insurance carriers, when you go into the compare tool on Medicare Center and say you pull up 3 MA plans and you set them side by side, they look very similar. Maybe one carrier has a little bit more on their dental benefit compared to the other, but they can tend to look very similar. Expect to see variance this year in the level and types of changes in the plans from plan to plan, carrier to carrier. So when you're talking to your clients, in addition to making sure their doctors are in the network and their drugs are on the formulary, find out what benefits are important to them, because the benefit that they have in their current MA plan may be super important to them, and it's important to look at all the details in any newly proposed plan. So again, a lot of variance from carrier to carrier, plan to plan, starting in 2025. You may have already heard that some of the carriers are starting to remove poor performing counties or terminate entirely. So you're going to see some carriers pull out of markets. And as we all know, MA plans are filed by county. So 2 counties you live by, maybe the MA carrier stays in that plan, but they may pull out of the market in the adjoining county. So again, just want to be sensitive to that. And of course, your clients will be getting written notification if that happens to them, and they'll be shopping. And so again, you want to be super in touch with your clients starting now, to make sure that you have that rapport with them going into AEP. Benefit reductions may be most likely to come from those non-core supplemental benefits within the MA plans. I just mentioned transportation services. It could be a variety of other benefits that were in those plans. Probably not so much on the dental, vision, and hearing, because that's super important to beneficiaries. Those will probably be less impacted. And you'll probably see higher copays and coinsurance on brand drug tiers. And some of the plans may add Part D deductibles. So MA plans traditionally has been no deductible. That may change in 2025. So overall, you'll probably see some increased cost sharing on the Medicare covered benefits. Let's talk about PDP. Again, the first 3 bullet points here, it talks about streamlined portfolios. It talks about standard benefits being redefined. I just want to summarize the first 3 bullet points and saying, yes, the plans are going to be redesigned, the formularies are going to be changing, the premiums are going to be changing, and going to point number 4, as I mentioned earlier, redefining tier 1, tier 2 copays. Again, that client that was used to paying $0 for their medication on tier 1, that may either happen, in one of 2 things might happen. Either they pay more in 2025, or it jumps from tier 1 to tier 3 or tier 2, and that will make an adjustment in what their overall costs will be. So the higher coinsurance won't be as impactful, again, because of that maximum $2,000 out of pocket. So if you have clients that are on very expensive drugs, they can use that smoothing provision and get some peace of mind knowing that their $2,000 MOOP will come into play in 2025. I think we've talked about this already, but just again, anticipate formulary design changes. The drugs will be changing by tier levels and what's included and what's not. And it's super important that you help your clients sort through this, because they're going to be really frustrated with it. And again, we have tools here at Premier through the Medicare Center and the plan enroll tool, and everything's attached to Medicare.gov so that you know you're getting accurate information. The other thing that your clients may um, experience in 2025 is these clinical pharmacy programs. So we've all heard of step therapy, where somebody starts out on a lower expensive medication and then they progress to something that may be higher cost. More and more, the the utilization management programs, will be used, and you'll see probably more of your clients going through step therapy. So it's real important when you present the drug plans to them to let them know what utilization management is, a little bit about step therapy, just in case they get diagnosed with something that requires very expensive medications or a lot of medications. Okay. And the last point on here, the risk adjustment, I'm going to focus on the coding because we all know it's about medical codes when somebody goes to the doctor or the hospital, and those CPT codes and ICD-10 codes go in for processing. And we've all gotten calls from clients saying, "Oh my gosh, I got billed for this ambulance ride. Why did I do that?" Well, it was inaccurately coded, and then that costs a lot of extra time and money to get that corrected. So one of the goals of the carriers is really put together programs so that things are done right and coded right the first time. So premium impacts, we talked a little bit earlier about the MA plans. They'll still be achievable. I mean, there's good news in all of this overall, and they'll likely to persist with the lower benefits as those values from the supplement benefits move to Part D. So you'll still be able to bring value proposition to your clients, and then the premium increases will most likely occur on the MA products that already have a premium. So typically across the country, HMOs have $0 premium, and the MA carriers may be able to offer that. Some of the HMO POS plans typically have a premium because the beneficiaries have an opportunity to go out of network on those POS plans. And typically the PPO plans will have a premium. Anytime there's a premium on those MA plans, please be aware that those will most likely go up. And then when you have some of the plans out here that have the Part B premium givebacks, if the beneficiary qualifies for that, they will not probably be removed altogether, but you may see a reduced benefit. So I'm going to make up a number here. Let's say it was $200 that your client was used to getting returned back to their Part B. Next year it might be $100. So we'll just have to see how that plays out once the carriers roll out their plans. And it's real important. Even though I know these certifications take a lot of time, I do them myself. I do the AHIP every year myself too. And it's very time consuming. But if you can find the time to attend carrier rollout meetings, please do that, because that gives you more insight into what's going on in the industry. And then the last point on this slide is, again, we talked about earlier, PDP plans have fewer alternatives to premium increases because they don't have as many moving parts within that standalone plan versus the MA plans. I think we've talked about that enough there. So there's still a lot of, and when you look at the product outlook for MA plans, there's still a lot of rich benefits in those plans, predictable cost, so that your clients can budget accordingly. I really like these carriers benefits. They have the simplicity of a single plan card, so they can take that one card, go to the doctor, go to the hospital, get their drugs, OTC benefits, everything's on one card. So that's something, if that's important to your clients, it would be beneficial for them to find a plan or maintain their plan that has that benefit. And one thing really important to emphasize with your clients is to please stay in network. If they have to go out of network, make sure they get the proper approvals to go outside of that network. But it's going to be more important than ever for them to stay in network, whether it be an HMO or a PPO. And then also encourage them to call the 800 support number on the back of their ID card, and because there's support programs in place for them to utilize and navigate their benefits. And as we all know, this is very overwhelming, how all the moving parts of Medicare are in general. And if your clients need help, that's another tool for them to use. And also the care management programs and the value-added services for better health outcomes. So just a comment on that. As we migrate more as a country from fee-for-service based environment to value-based care, the value-based care model aligns with the MA plans to provide better health outcomes. And let's be straightforward, as of now, the people that are the health providers, excuse me, that are accepting the MA plans are have incentives and bonuses for better outcomes for beneficiaries, and that's good for the beneficiaries because they're healthier. Okay, the PDP value proposition, again, we're being a little redundant here, but because of the changes being driven by the Inflation Reduction Act, your clients should expect increases in their premiums if they're on a standalone PDP plan. And then again, compared to the MA plan, which is also Part C, I'm sure you guys know that. So there'll be a lot of variances from carrier to carrier, plan to plan. Again, use the tools that we offer, and they're free, by the way. I forgot to mention that. So the Medicare Center program and the plan enroll is free to you. If you had to pay for that, it would be costly. So that's something that we make a big investment in and are constantly improving through our IT department to keep bringing you value to your clients, and also to help you stay compliant as well too. MOOP and smoothing will limit the member cost sharing. It can make PDP plans more attractive for some of your high acuity members. So we all know you've got a lot of savvy customers out here. They are out there looking online and looking for the best price and looking for the best way to get their health care. And you want to be there working side by side with them. So I know I'm licensed and whatnot, and whenever I've talked to anybody that's done that research, I always say that, hey, we're going to have a more productive meeting because they're going to be more informed. So instead of getting in a mode where you go, oh, they've been on the internet 20 times and now they're questioning everything I do, partner up with them and applaud them for doing that research and just share with them, hey, we're going to have a better meeting today. That's awesome. I'm glad you've done that. PDP will remain more attractive than these discount programs. So I'm sure all of you said, hey, do I have to use my Part D drug plan? And then some people are even like, I don't want a Part D. Why do I have to pay a premium for that? Well, they want to do that to avoid penalties, of course. But you're going to, you get questions. Well, can I use my RX card? Can I get medications from Canada, for example? Yes, they can. We can't tell them what to do. But they will be less likely to do that now, and they won't have to do that now because their MOOP is going to be lower. So they can get what they need more often than not through their PDP plans. So again, just kind of segueing into price conscious populations may consider the MA plans in 2025. Those people that are in their 70s, 72, 73 plus may consider MA plans. And as we all know, dual eligibles are not eligible for supplements. So if your market plan is focused in the dual eligible market, really refine that and really work again side by side with those beneficiaries so that they understand what changes are taking place in the market. Okay, so wrapping up here, you guys are so incredibly important. You are so incredibly important to ensuring that member disruption is limited, that members feel at peace with what they're doing, that they know they have a resource in you with qualifications to help them. And we, on the other side of that, are here to support you. We thank you for your business. It's because of you we all have jobs. And so utilize our resources. As I mentioned a few times, pushingmedicarecenter.com. It's an amazing tool. And we just keep improving it and integrating other features into it that help you. Planenroll.com is a part that's integrated into Medicare Center. And after this webinar, you will be receiving a link for the tutorials so that you know how to use Planenroll. And also, this is I read through this 2025 AEP playbook. If anybody knows me, they know that I am all about the marketing plan, and this playbook is outstanding resource to you to develop your marketing plan for this upcoming AEP. And you will be sent a PDF of that as well. So call us. We're here to help you. Again, if you don't know who your marketer is, call our 800 number and we will find you your marketer and help you out. So myself, Justin, Meredith, we all thank you for attending today. And again, call us if we can help you. Thanks so much for your time and have a great AEP. We're here to support you. Thank you.